Chris Lovell with another edition of Pirate Talk. Chip Darden, my guest as always, and Colton Coons taking care of us behind the camera as well. And these shows brought to you by the kind folks at Gene Messer Ford Lincoln. So I want to appreciate those folks. If you have any new or used car needs, go see those folks over there. We appreciate them sponsoring these shows throughout the football season, really throughout the academic year. And we're going to do something different in this show. We're going to get to it in a little bit. Coach Darden had a great idea. I'm all for it, and we'll see kind of what it looks like, and we'll try to execute it properly here. We're leaning on Colton to make sure that it goes well. So I'm just going to get out in front of that right now. Okay, opening night. Big time opponent, great stadium, great atmosphere, great weather, great start. But just kind of take me through. Didn't end up how you wanted, but it was a close game. It was a great high school football game, and just kind of take me through the opener there against Lovejoy.
Yeah, I think you can tell a lot. Like, I don't know, fast starts are sometimes overrated. Like, sometimes just things happen. Like, and you don't start fast. You did everything right, and then just ball doesn't bounce your way, whatever. Okay. But I thought our fast start was the mentality of our guys was really good. We first play the game, we tried to take a shot. They were very loose coverage. It wasn't the best play call, and that kind of sets you up, to have a 3-and-out. So we do. We have a 3-and-out, and you're thinking, man, we started our season 3-and-out. But then our defense gets 3-and-out, and then from that point on, offense is kind of rolling. And so I was just really proud of our start and our mentality right off the bat. But, it was. We talked about it, I think, on this show the week before that we line up for every game. We're competitors. Our coaches and players are competitors. We are trying to do everything that we can. We don't save stuff for an opponent. Like we had one game, and that's it, and that was Lovejoy, and we're trying to win it. But our goals are all out in front of us, and so we knew we really cared about how we played. And so live, I would have told you if we'd have interviewed on Friday night after the game, I would have told you, man, I feel pretty good about it. Like, it didn't fall our way, but then we watch film and we see a lot of areas that we've got to improve, and we see a lot of areas that two plays here or there, not taking a play off here or there, and we win the game. And so I think we're going to see a lot of improvement. I think that's a little bit. I don't know about it if it makes you happy. You're never happy to lose, but a little bit positive on our end that we didn't play our best game. We didn't play a perfect game and still get beat. We've got a lot of areas to get better in.
And it just speaks to, when you mentioned that a couple plays here and there, it just speaks to the margins are razor thin in these games, like especially against two very competitive teams. It can come down to a play or two, and it's hard to tell a kid that, like, a play in that second quarter is just as important as one at the very end of the game.
That's right. And I think that's why we've scheduled a good team like that to start the season, because, if we were able to schedule somebody that we can walk out there and not play your best game and get a big win, then it doesn't show you where you're at. So I thought that was beneficial for us to be able to see it, to be able to see when you make an error, this other team's going to expose it, and that's kind of what happened. But I was proud of our guys. They fought the entire game. We I think had few opportunities to really put them away, but then also had opportunities to check it in, and they could have extended a lead, and we just battled right there to the very last possession.
Counterfeit money, as they say.
Yeah.
Is when you go thump somebody and it doesn't do you any good. You're like, man, we're good to go. We just don't know your issues yet. Yeah. So I think Ryan Rodriguez, your quarterback, number 14, really good game. I think you actually awarded him with offensive MVP of the week or the game. He throws for over 100, ran for over 100. Shemaine Johnson over 100 yards rushing. So two guys over 100. Is that the blueprint of sorts? Did one of those runs, which I think we may look at here in a little bit for Ryan, maybe skews those numbers a bit because he had a long scramble, went for a touchdown. But like, is that two 100-yard rushers? Is that kind of blueprint, or is that just an exception?
Yeah, I think it depends, honestly. I think our blueprint is what are they going to give us? And no team's going to give us anything, but but most defenses are kind of operate that way. Like you got to shut something down in an offense. So hopefully we're designed in a way
good enough to take what they
absolutely like that's how we try to design it. Where we're doing some stuff on the perimeter, we're doing some stuff with our run game. That if you try to shut that down, we're good enough throwing the ball that we can hurt you there, and that would be our ideal goal. I thought Lovejoy did a really good job. I thought their DBs did a really good job of covering. They made a lot of our passing game tough. We did execute when we needed to there, but they made it tough on us. It wasn't, and I don't know that we ever thought it was going to be easy, but they did a good job on that. And so run game kind of opened up, and Ryan took advantage of some chances. And, you mentioned Ryan. I thought he made some other plays in the game that don't show up in the stat sheets much. He had a third down play where I don't know how he avoided the sack. Surprised the refs didn't blow the whistle, and he somehow gets out of it, throws it away, allows us to punt. We had a net 38-yard punt. So, it's just a big play in the game. And then on a fourth down, had a snap that was mishandled. He grabs it, was able to complete the ball to continue a drive. And anyway, some of those plays that Ryan made are just 3-year starter, senior captain that you hope your guys make. But, man, that's just him being a ball player, him knowing football. So made a lot of plays like that, and I think we had a lot of guys that did.
Yeah, certainly experience at the quarterback position is huge. You had 3 receivers. I wanted to highlight Cade Gant, Reed Waters, and Noah Clark. They combined for about 10 catches, and so you spread it around there. Defensively, Cale Kirk, Sione Vea, Patrick Garcia, and then Blake Moore and Darius Butler each had 5 tackles each. So you're kind of balanced there with some guys showing up. And take me through just that side of the ball. Yeah, I thought Lovejoy kind of came out and they were doing their thing, and then they really were intentional about throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And trying to attack certain matchups or whatever. But anyway, you take me through kind of what you see and what they adjusted to, and then what caused you guys to adjust all those things, the chess match, if you will.
Yeah, and we knew coming in the quarterback was the guy.
He's very good.
We knew that. We knew it last year as well. And early, he didn't run a whole lot, and I think that made us kind of adjust and start covering that pass. Well, then when we got a lead on him, then he kind of took over running the football. What was impressive about our defense, we go into halftime, make a couple little tweaks, and I say it all the time that if we're waiting until halftime to make adjustments, we're not doing a very good job. Those adjustments are made in between series and throughout the game. But there were a couple little tweaks that we did at halftime. They come out the first drive and drive it right down the field and score. And so Coach Reed and our defensive staff decided to really make a big-time adjustment there after that first series. And we went with a nickel package. We played with 5 defensive backs and kind of had a different look, and they didn't score again in the second half. And I was proud of our kids for adjusting to what we did right there on the fly. It wasn't like we had 20 minutes to sit there and install it. It was a quick install as offenses on the field. Our kids handled it great and then played a really good half the rest of the way. So defense is going to get there, and I thought we saw some improvement. I thought I mentioned the fatigue earlier. We got a little bit tired at times, and we're gonna get better from that, and I think we're gonna see some improvement on how we handle fatigue.
Is the whole week 1 to week 2 thing we talked about, but before we get into some big picture stuff, can we look at some of this game? Because I think this was Coach Darden's idea. He wanted to kind of because I think it's fascinating because you guys always, as soon as the game's over or the next day, you look at every play of these games and you grade it and you evaluate and what did we do right? What were we coaching there? And did they do what we were coaching and all that stuff? But there's also effort that shows up on these plays and things that people may not pay attention to or see. So you've got 3 plays here, and so we're going to take
to start the 3 that I chose, we've got a new award that we're giving out, and we'll highlight it on game days the next week, but we're calling it our Black Flag Award. And basically, we've got all our offense, defense, all the awards that you see posted, but on top of those, we are giving out an award to an offense, defense, and a special teams player that just played extremely hard. So they might only have 2 snaps. They might have only been on kickoff 1 time, but there was just extreme effort. And so we're just going to highlight the 3 guys that won those awards this week.
Okay. And we can. So you can point.
So on this first play, we're looking at Deuce Johnson, who's the running back there. So you can go ahead. Shemaine, sorry, Deuce. So he's just got a pass route here, looking to be a check down. And at this point, and the thing is, he did this the whole game. You can rewind it one more time, Colton. So I think right when we're here, when we realize Ryan's going to scramble, a lot of guys just kind of give up on the play and stand and watch. But Deuce gets a block, and if you watch one more time again, not only does he get a block, but once he gets the block, he goes and looks for another one, leads downfield, nobody's there, so he ends up leading him into the end zone. But there's no standing around watching a play. He's full effort. And Deuce had a few of those throughout the game where he's not just a spectator. He's going to go – I used to call that an RBI when I was coaching receivers. That's an RBI. He got him into the end zone because of that block.
And a baseball term.
Yes.
A run batted in.
Yep,
there you go.
Got him in the end zone. Yeah. So really, Deuce, he had a lot of those. He's a captain. There's a reason he's a captain for plays like that.
Yeah, he ran hard all night, but it's the things like that nobody sees that really just as important. That equals points.
It does.
That equals points. Okay, and now we're going to move on to, I believe, a special teams play.
Yep.
And I think this is where you're going to highlight some effort here.
Yeah, Blake Moore is, as you can see here, he starts there. And our kickoff is designed, if you go back one more time, Colton, and pause it there. That's great. Our kickoff is designed just like it is. This is a great spot, a great kick to start. That's a great spot for us to have it. But you notice Blake, we highlighted him. We're now about 25 yards down the field. Blake is the first one down the field. Blake played, I think he cramped up at one point in the third quarter, or he would have played every single snap on defense. I mean, he's playing every snap. But it doesn't matter. He's not taking a playoff on special team. You got to have a single-digit number. If you're a single-digit number, you got to be a starter on special teams. And so he's wearing number 4. But he just won that rep. One more time, Colton. The guy trying to kick him out, there's a guy that comes late that's trying to kick him out from across the field. He has no chance because Blake had extreme effort. And then Blake gets rewarded with a big hit. He got the big hit of the game for this play.
And I'm totally, you can't really quite see it, but I love the reaction of your sideline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that's you all know what you've been working on, and everybody over here is quite excited. So that's
Yep. But once again, it all started with extreme effort right off the bat. He doesn't know. When the ball's kicked, he has no idea if he's making a play, but he's running with extreme effort.
And that stuff's contagious.
Yeah.
This is like what you point and go, you want to know why he gets to wear a single-digit number or why he's getting to play all the time? That right there.
That's right.
Yeah. You know. Okay. Next play, we're going to move on to defense, and this is another effort.
Yeah, and this is what we talk about often, that if it's in your DNA to play hard, you do it, and you may not make the play. Like if you know every time I play hard, I'm going to get an interception or I'm going to go score. Well, shoot, yeah, it's easy to play hard, but the goal is that we all 11 on the field play with extreme effort. You may make the play sometimes, you may not. So we're going to point out here Pat Garcia, who was our defensive MVP this week. He's also, again, the award winner for defense here. But he realizes plays away from him right now. And look at him sprint. There is no reason, especially when you start the play, he's out at the numbers on the left side. And by the time the play's over, he's at the numbers on the far side. He didn't make the play, but maybe if a tackle's broken, something happens, he's in position to do it. And, really with a lot of our guys, we've got 10 when the play ends. This is something that Coach Lynch, our defensive line coach, and then Coach Reed, they look at on certain plays. They'll blow the whistle, and they'll count how many guys are outside the hash on the play, how many of our defensive guys at the end of the play are outside the hash. We'll give Papa a little credit on this one. He was kind of banged up with his leg, but we got plays over, and we've got 10 guys that are on that side of the hash. But Pat coming all the way around, didn't make the play, but he was in position if they broke a tackle. And that's what we're looking for.
And that's the kind of stuff that you can build off of and be proud of and know that your players are listening. And that's the kind of culture thing that you've always prided your program on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, and that's the thing that the guys we highlighted, two of those guys are captains. Like that's how that's how captains ought to do things. They ought to lead from the front. And then Blake's a 2-year starter. It's the same thing. When maybe a guy that's a young guy's watching and going, okay, these captains, these guys that have been playing a lot of varsity football, when they're playing with that effort, that's how we do it around here.
Hair on fire, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I we're going to continue to do that as we go along throughout the season. I think it's a phenomenal idea, and hopefully people get a feel for what they're looking at and what they're looking for something that maybe nobody sees. I was a part of it last Friday. It was the day of this Lovejoy game, the morning of, and I meant to ask you about it last week, but we have since had one of these under our belt. You do something which I just think is just awesome, the Champions Breakfast. Mm-hmm. You bring some adults from the community in, and they sit with you kids on your team, and it's the Friday morning of home games. And as you always say aloud, there's no agenda here. We just want to kind of mingle and mentor and, somebody like an outlet for these young men to kind of talk to. Like, where did you come up with that idea, and why is it so important to you?
Yeah, I don't really. I stole it from somebody. I'll be honest. Everything that we do is probably somebody else's. I don't.
That's the way sports work, though.
I don't fully remember who we stole it from. But this 7th year we've been doing it, and it is kind of the thought process. We've got guys on our team that might have 10 male role models in their life. I mean, they might have a dad and a stepdad and an uncle and a grandpa and that are just there all the time that are involved. We've got some that don't have a male role model in their lives, and we've got everything in between. But our thought process is no matter which side any of our kids are on, one more doesn't hurt. And one more male role model that can be there and maybe shoot a text that says, "Hey, good luck tonight." Don't think that hurts. So that's kind of how it started. And then it's grown, and I think it's awesome because our players get so much out of it, and they create some relationships. And like we've had some that have gotten jobs after the fact and met somebody that maybe is doing some hiring, they get a job. But I think we just created some mentorship, like you said. But I think also our adults that come in get something out of it, and it's impactful and meaningful for them. So things like that. Here's what I'll tell you: is things like that. The players and then the adults involved are the ones that make it great. Like they're all in. Everybody's all in. Everybody puts everything into it. It's one of those, you're going to get out of it whatever you put in. And our players and our adults put a whole lot into it. And so I think it's pretty rewarding for all groups.
Yeah, all the kids over the years that I've ever sat with always write up a thank you note, which I think is old school. I love it. It's a lost art. And there's kids over working at Tech football, like not playing, but working over at Tech football that I sat with many years ago that I still see now. And that was our introduction with each other. And it's like I feel like I'll stay in contact with them for years because of something as simple as just having a breakfast with folks in the community during the high school football season. So anyway, I want to make sure I asked you about that because I'm a big fan of what you do, and you get it. This is a guy that just understands what this is all about. Okay, so I asked you about improvement week 1 and week 2. We've showed the plays and all that stuff. Let's talk about Coronado a little bit. In town matchup, always a bit different than if you're playing in Wichita Falls or in Abilene or in Amarillo. Like here in Lubbock, we're all drinking from the same water fountains, and we're all doing the whole thing. So like what?
Are there water fountains still?
Well, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's some schools around here. There's like a Hawaiian punch coming out of water fountains compared to water.
These games bring there's good and bad. Like, well, obviously they're good. We like playing these games, but the motivation's easy. Getting the kids, practicing hard and being excited about the game, all that's really easy. But there's more distractions too. So, So you gotta manage that and make sure that we're handling. This has kind of been our focus this week. Is I learned this from a coach that I learned a lot from. Nate Bridges was a basketball coach here a while back, but he talked about constants. What are your constants? And that's stuff that you can control. Nobody else has any effect on your constants. And so our guys, that's what we've been focused on this week. What can we control? And let's control that every single day. Let's control that with everything that we do. When you're playing a rivalry game like this, I think that's even more important to make sure that you're not worried about the distractions. And so it's been a good week, but I think we'll see. Ultimately, Friday night you'll see how well you have handled all those distractions. But that's what makes it fun. It's fun for the fans. These rivalry games are fun for everybody. Usually a bigger crowd and all that. So fun stuff.
Hey, Coach Roy. I think is this second year for him? Okay. You guys played them at Pirate Stadium last year, and it obviously a lopsided score. You guys fared well there. They had a young man on their team by the name of Alan Gant, one of the best players in the city. He's now playing at UTEP, I believe. Super fast. Like he was one of the. Yeah. You and I have actually sat up in Pirate Stadium press box and watched the track meet, to which he fared very well too. He's just speedy. You had to know where he was at all times, kind of a two-way player for them. Do they have anybody that like this? I mean, take me through a couple of tight ends.
They're talented. I hope they don't have anybody as fast as him. I don't know. But I'll say this about last year's game is it was I want to say 21-17 at one point. It was a lot tighter game, I think, than that score indicated. Kind of ran away down the stretch. But, no, they're good. I think they've got a DB, corner number 6, that's super talented player, and he's a returner for them and just does a lot of really good things for their team. He's impressive. Their defense in general is impressive. They let their guys play in space a little bit, and they're pretty good at it. A lot of me is old school. Like, you play a running team, man, you're gonna put everybody on the line of scrimmage and all that. But a lot of these that have really good athletes in the secondary, they don't put everybody on the line of scrimmage, and they make you play out in space a little bit more, and they're good at it. So. Challenging, and I've said this, no telling how many times, but Coach Roy was their defensive coordinator before he was the head coach, and even before he got there, when Seth Parr was Coronado's head coach, they've played really good defense there for as long as I can remember. Their offense gets a lot of the headlines, but they've played really good defense, and so that'll be a challenge offensively. They've got a receiver number 1, just a great player. He plays in the slot, can play outside. They move him around, put him in motion, and does a good job. And then a huge offensive line. I mean, they are really big, and 2 tight ends that are about as pretty as it gets. They're big, tall. Both look. I don't know what they're measured at. They look to be about 6'5", 230 pounds. I mean, they are good looking kids. They can throw to the tight ends. They use the tight ends in the run game, and so I think they present some challenges with the scheme. But then also, to me, like, that's kind of how I look at it. What, as a defense coordinator or offensive coordinator, no matter what scheme you're running, are you putting your best guys in a position to make succeed. Plays? Yeah. And so to me, that's what they're doing. They've got these tight ends and receivers, and quarterback just manages it all so well, and then defensively, same thing. They've got some really good back end guys that they're putting them good in positions to make plays. So they're good. And that first game was kind of funky for them. They had 6 turnovers. That's unrealistic. That's not going to happen all the time. So they're going to take a big jump week 1 to week 2 also, and we're expecting that.
Yeah, they opened up 28-22, lost to Wichita Falls Legacy. Anyway, it just should be fun. 7 o'clock over there at People's Bank Stadium, formerly known as Lowry Field, and pregame coverage, I think 6:30 on 100.7 The Score, and then you can. I think LCISD is going to stream this bad boy, so we'll pass along information on our various social media channels. But I do know it's going to be on radio for you. So if you can't be there in person and you want to watch, okay, a couple of fun ones to get you out of here with. Best movie sequel.
Oh, I thought we were done with this.
Best movie sequel.
We're done with all this. Is there a good movie sequel?
Rocky IV.
Yeah, the Rockies are all pretty good. Like, I will say they all are all pretty good. My dad would be mad at me on The Godfather. I think The Godfather 2 is a horrible sequel, if I'm not mistaken. But
I've never seen either one of The Godfathers.
That's tough. My dad's not going to be real happy with you. I can just tell you that.
I think he's not happy with me most of the time.
Man, I'm not a movie guy. It's hard to beat the Rockies.
And I'm going, that's way back. Best movie sequel. I just didn't know if you had a...
Yeah, I really don't.
Okay.
I'm not answering that question.
Honestly, like a recent one that I would guess the majority of the population that would have seen movies at all would probably say it had a chance to be in this conversation was the Top Gun remake.
I did see that too.
And it was legit.
It was.
It was legit. I mean, I don't know if I would say it's better than the first one, but it belongs in the conversation.
Here's how I am with movies. Like, me and my wife went and saw that one. Like, but I'm not going to watch it again. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I'm just not a movie guy.
Yeah. Are you a documentary guy? Or are you
probably
drama
sports
series
guy?
I know, but like sometimes there is no sports. I'm not watching pillow fighting or frisbee golf.
I agree.
Or there's some just dry times of the year to where it's like, I mean, I need anything.
Yeah, I agree, but it's usually not movies.
Okay.
Sorry.
Interesting.
I should have let you know before we
fine. It's fine. Best coaching cliche.
Oh man, I'm all about. I feel like I'm a walking cliche. I try not to.
We all have our favorites and our sayings. And
I used to head coach at North Texas, Eric Morris, who I grew up with. We used to laugh at him because he used them all the time. Dynamite comes in small packages and all those.
He would do it to be funny though.
Oh
right?
Yeah. Kind of.
Okay.
But he was a walking cliche too. But, man,
because there's some that are funny or that are just like very much coach speak, but then there's others that are. Like, man, I believe this.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a guy in the office here that I always thought, Max Catwinkle, he used one that I always thought was great, but he always would tell kids he's tougher than woodpecker lips. I thought that was always a pretty good one.
I heard one. I don't know if this is like coaching cliche or whatever, but it's a sports analogy or saying. I heard this the other day in a sports documentary, mind you, and I was like, I'd never heard that when I wrote it down. And I was like, this is very true. And you don't want to have your program be like this, but this is like a true statement. And it was, victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan.
There you go.
A lot of people wanting credit when things are going well, but when it doesn't, it's like, it's not me, man.
That's
like,
exactly right.
Because you want accountability, you want ownership, you want, all that stuff. But I had never heard it phrased like that, and I was like, a lot of truth in that statement. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, Coach, really enjoyed the play breakdown. We'll do that again next week. Good luck against Coronado. The old Mustangs, always a tough out, and we'll see you out there at People's Bank Stadium on Friday night.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there he is.
Appreciate
Chip Darden for Colton Coons. Thank you again to G. Messer Ford /Lincoln. We'll talk to you next time. This is Chris Level. This has been Pirate Talk.